Allow me to extend a warm welcome to all the viewers on the internet and around the world. It is sunrise on YouTube, morning on Facebook, noon on Twitter, midday on Threads, afternoon on Twitch, sunset on Instagram, and evening on Rumble. I am your host, the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, and the master of the deceptive arts. We are broadcasting live directly from the sanctum of solitude and the citadel at the end of time. Good evening, everyone. I'm the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, the master of the deceptive arts, and I return to you once again as the self-determined voice of the vasectomites. And today I wanted to talk about a very common slogan, but one that is quite troubling for me as a lifelong bachelor and as an evolved vasectomite. It's a quite troubling slogan for me, but I hear it every ever so often from the knee benders. And you hear it so often that, quite frankly, it gets blocked out and overlooked by simply how ubiquitous and commonplace it actually is. And that phrase is, I have to ask my wife. Another one is something like, let me see what the wife thinks, or or we'll see what my wife has to say about this, or she's the boss, right? That kind of thing. These types of repeated phrases, they get blended into normal colloquial social language, such that we become, quite frankly, tone deaf to their significance and their true meaning. And and when you think about them, man, it's profound. It's profound what this implies. When you, as a grown man, as an autonomous man, when you defer to your wife, your partner, or your significant other to give you consent or authorization, right? Whether it's your girlfriend, your living partner, I don't care what you're in, or whoever these people are to you, quite frankly. But when you need their consent, their authorization, to allow you to do something, when essentially you would have just otherwise done it yourself, right? Effectively, you're just asking that person for permission. And I'm going to tell you, for the most part, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary to ask these people for permission. If you were in any other situation, whatever the thing that you wanted to do, whether it be a social move, move hobby-wise, which is what we're going to discuss today, a professional move, an academic move, whatever it is, you would just take that action without consulting anyone. Win or lose, you take an action. If it works out, it works out, you move forward. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you move forward, right? You'd be inclined to take almost every opportunity that came your way. Were you not with a counterpart? Were you not needing another person's consent or authorization to make any type of move that you desire? In other words, what you've done is you effectively you defer your decision making capacity, right? Your ability to think for yourself, come to a conclusion, and thereby act or act out the conclusion that you made or act on behalf of the conclusion that you have made, right? You defer to a higher power, what is to you a superior being, with whom or without whom you could not move forward in any endeavor. You know, you do become childlike in that you cannot make any decisions and act without either like a guardian or a parent or a teacher or a supervisor or a manager or whatever it is. In fact, you have to defer to that superior being to allow you, to permit you, to sanction your own personal moves. And that to me is completely unacceptable. And maybe this is why I'm not in a relationship and I can't be in a relationship. I remember the counterpart many years ago saying to me, but she would say it all the time. And she would say, all we ever do is what you want. All we ever do is what you want. And that was true. That was true. We went where I wanted to go. We stayed in the hotel that I wanted to stay in. We paid the money that I wanted to pay. If it was too much money, we weren't paying. Simple. And I can understand why, she would be frustrated in the relationship, and so would I. Because I would want to move in the direction that I want to move, and she's just kind of like tagging along. But she may want to do things in, like, let's say we're going on a trip. She may want to do something. Let's stop over here. Oh, let's sit over here. Oh, let's not move over here. There was a time this incompetent person decided right in the middle of the road that she was just not going to follow me anymore. She just decided that this was the end of it. The problem was that she was stuck right in the middle of traffic. And I just carried on walking. And people, human traffic rather. And people just bumped her and almost knocked her down. So it became very clear. It was like, you know what? I'm not going to get knocked down just because you want to make a point. Like, this is not the point. This is not the place to do it. Can you not make a point in a place where people don't get knocked down? And so I continued. But what choice did she have? She could have stayed there and get knocked down some more, or she could just move out of the way like a logical person. And I wanted to follow logic, and she wanted to stay there, right? So eventually, logic took over, and she had to move. She was so resentful. She was so resentful that she couldn't just stand there and pout. And I was like, man, I don't have time for all this. Huh? These kinds of things, they go against everything that I myself believe in and that this platform advocates for. Liberty of movement, freedom of choice, self-control, and self-determination. Determining your own outcomes, good or bad, win or lose, based on your own capacity. What's wrong with that? This, finding your own way, being successful doing your own thing in your own capacity is only a problem if you either have a low capacity or no capacity for accomplishment. But people who have a capacity for accomplishment and a history for accomplishment, they never feel hard done by. If you say to someone like, just do it yourself, or you'll say, you know what, man, just do whatever you want. There are some people who will see that as an insult, right? But if you said to me, man, just do whatever you want, I'd tell you I always do. I mean, what do you think I'm going to do? Just follow around some counterpart? No way. No way. But for people with no power for accomplishment, the idea that they have to do something for themselves is terrifying. I once told a knee bender to just get out and do whatever the hell you want. I would have walked on and moved on with my life. Pick up a nice book, take a nap, watch a podcast or something. No, No, this counterpart stands there and tells me that that kind of statement hurts his feeling. I beg your pardon, this knee bender. It was a knee bender. This knee bender tells me that telling him to do whatever the hell he wants and to get out, it hurts his feelings. Like what I'm supposed to do. Oh no, please come in. Let me help you with your problem. No. Why would I want to help you with your problem? I have no problem with being told to do whatever the hell you want. You know, I have no problem with somebody telling me, oh, you think you can actually do this? Why don't you start your own channel and start making your own videos? Do your own thing. Come up with your own philosophy, your own script, right? Your own characters. Make up your own universe with your own values and your own standards. Yeah, piece of cake. You goddamn knee bender. How's that for a script? Huh? This is the easiest thing you can do, man. It's the easiest thing you could do. Stand up by yourself, get your own goals, make your own moves. Give me a break. You think I need an army to conquer an army? No, I just need a good plan. Everything I've been able to accomplish or fail at in life has been because of planning, not because I was with a great number of people. If the plan was good, it worked out. If the plan was bad, it didn't work out. It did not matter for a single second who was in the plan or not. It just mattered what the plan was. Now, to submit yourself the way that these knee benders do to the limits of the law and the almighty dollar is one of the things that you should absolutely consider doing. All right? Now, there are many things that you should never submit to, and one of those things is a counterpart. But to submit yourself to the limits of the law and the almighty dollar is not just the right thing to do. It is sensible, it is true, and it is very good. And the reason for this is simple. Money is more powerful, longer lasting, farther reaching, and possibly can accomplish more than I ever will or could ever do. Even if I was the richest man in the history of humanity, the entire history, right? So all the way going back to the first human and then all the way moving forward to the last human. If I made more money than all those people, I would still never have all the money in the world. Even alive, I would still never reach the full capacity and power of money, especially when that power and money is in the right hands, you know? So understanding this, it makes sense to submit to this type of power, to this type of authority, right? And to those who wield that power until we wield that power for ourselves. Oh, and we will. Oh, and we absolutely will. We are absolutely moving towards an astounding goal, you and I. The law, on the other hand, well, it's very simple. You should submit to the law for one reason and one reason only. You break the law, you go to jail. And I, for one, do not want to go to jail. I have no interest in this. And if I do, I hope it's for a very short and brief amount of time. Right? Now, if you need any more reasons other than this, other than the fact that you're going to go to jail, if you need any other reasons to obey the law, then feel free to add those reasons to the comments, right, of this video, and I will happily read them and ignore them, right? There is only one consequence for criminality, and that is incarceration. You break the law, you're going to get caught eventually, and you're going to be put into jail. Now, the truth is that you might not be caught outright. You might break the law and never be caught in the act. But if you have a counterpart, you could consider yourself already in prison. It's only a matter of time before they say, well, we're investigating you. Let's see who's in your life. Okay, he has a counterpart. We're investigating the counterpart. And as soon as a counterpart finds out that they are being investigated, even though they've done nothing wrong, they're going to capitulate. You're going to jail. You are absolutely going to jail. And that is the consequence that you have to fear. Other than this consequence, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Right? However, consider the consequence, keep the end in mind. You know? Beyond that, beyond these two entities, if you want to call them, I don't I don't I don't see a need to submit to anything other than the law and the almighty dollar. I don't see the need to submit to anyone, let alone the whims, the happiness, or the preferences of these knee benders and these counterparts. Why would I? Why would I make a move that is suggested by a knee bender? I mean, even if that move was as simple as, hey man, you should try out this nice restaurant. They got actually decent pizza. This is a person who capitulated to the ego of an incompetent loser with no power for accomplishment, right? I would take his advice, but I'd want to verify it. So if I was, for instance, dating and a knee bender told me that this was a cool place to go on a date, I would go to that place to get like some takeaway or something, or just just to do some reconnaissance of my own. I wouldn't take that advice outright. Like, man, these knee benders, like this guy once recommended, I remember, a place for Thai food. Now, what this knee bender is unaware of is that I'd actually spent a tremendous amount of time in Southeast Asia, in and out, right? Asia up and down, really, and also some of the South Americas. Like, I've been around, and Europe, and I've been around, and Africa. I've been around, right? This guy recommended to me a Thai food restaurant. Now, I've had Thai food. I've had really good Thai food from like really good Thai restaurants in Thailand, rooftop bars, evening lounge, that kind of thing. Overlooking the sunset, there's the river, there's the buildings, there's the scene, and then there's the music, live band, all of that. Been there, done that. This knee bender recommends to me a Thai food shop, right? So I decided, and I mean, he was raving about this place. He was absolutely raving about it. He had no idea my experience in Southeast Asia. So I go check out this place and I take a counterpart with me. It was embarrassing. It was like you had to drive through like an industrial area, but not like an industrial area where they make things, like where it's factories or they make things, right? It was like an industrial areas where they fix broken down, run down cars. It was in a place of a city or a town, really, that had never crossed my mind to go to, right? And like I got lost finding this place. I had to like like move in like strange directions. It was like one ways that go around the block instead of being a two-way that gives you access to the road on either side. And I got lost, and eventually I found the place next to like some place that fixes run-down cars and sells second-hand parts. I mean, filthy. I mean, filthy. It was stuffy. It was hot. There was no air conditioning. You could smell the grease. It was so small that you could smell the grease from the kitchen. I was like, no way. No way, no way, man. I don't want to eat in dirty places. Like, some people don't mind. I do. I really, really mind eating in dirty places. So that kind of thing, like, you don't want to take advice from these knee benders. Really, I'm telling you the truth. you know. And they'll, you'll go to a place and then they'll ask you what it was like, so excited. And you'll have to tell them that, this place was mediocre, man. Just take me to like a nice hotel, make a dinner reservation at a hotel or something. Because I'm also that type of guy. I'm really not one, like, if I don't know which restaurant to go to, I'm going to a nice hotel. I'm going to a nice hotel with it where I know they have a professional chef, right? Or it's like a seafood buffet or something. You ever go to a seafood buffet and they serve lobster? Hotels will do that for you. Five-star hotels will do that for you. You don't even have to stay in the room to go eat at a five-star hotel. You can just make a reservation, come on in during dinner time with the rest of the guests and enjoy whatever they're serving. It's quite delicious, other than finding these mom and pop stores and dingy places that are trying to survive using last week's oil. Oh, and the food was atrocious, by the way. It didn't taste right. Like the fish, when fish is starting to go bad, and they try to disguise it. Like, you can't disguise fish, man. You get 3 days with fish, then you gotta let it go. Max, you know. And so for me, I'm not one to take no advice from these knee benders. I'm actually inclined to the only reason I would take any type of action to a knee bender, other than not knowing any better, is really in a situation where not that I take the advice, but I have no choice but to act on it. So this is a person who I cannot afford to insult financially. And this person recommends, even though they may be a senior or an equal or whatever, but I cannot afford to, even a subordinate, I cannot afford to insult them financially. So then what I would do is I would take the recommendation, right, and go to where they suggest, and just be miserable, and come back and tell them how wonderful it was. But that would only be like in a business circumstance. Otherwise, I'm not inclined to do nothing that these people think about. I don't care what your imagination says. Oh, this is a nice restaurant. You know how many nice restaurants people have told me to go to that were atrocious, that were absolutely atrocious. So I don't even care if you recommend a meal or a restaurant, or you know what, even a TV show. No. And I'll tell you why. I have three simple reasons. For one, I don't want to. I don't want to capitulate and participate in any goddamn thing these people do or did or will ever do. Every time I've participated with a knee bender, it's been a colossal failure and a waste of my time. And anything that they suggest, I assure you, you could just ignore it, right? The second reason is that I don't have to. There's no law in the world that gives these people any authority. In fact, most laws go out of their way to remove these knee benders from any type of authority. But the third and most important reason is that I got a vasectomy. I am not tied to face any of the consequences that these knee benders are going to have. So one of the things that you have to understand why knee benders keep following each other is because they know that they're going to get things wrong. And they know that they're going to face severe consequences for getting things wrong. So what they do is they'll take advice from a knee bender, which ultimately is going to lead them to bending the knee, put them in 18 years of child support, and then they'll truly suffer. And it'll occur to them that they don't actually have to do this. But by then, it's too late. They cannot afford to lose. You can't afford to get the equation wrong of choosing the right mate and inseminating her, which of course you're gonna get wrong. So you do what others have told you that they did, and you think that maybe you'll fare better than them, and obviously you don't. You're gonna mess things up just like your grandfather and your father did. You know. Now, now, it's one thing for someone who wants a woman and can't get one, but it's another simply to not want one at all, which is the situation that I find myself. I just don't want a woman. I just really don't want a woman. I know people will say, well, you're playing for the other side, ancient one. You know, you are part of the rainbow calendar and whatnot. Man, I don't care what you people say. You're gonna come tell me who I am? Man, go to hell. Now you got me clicking my tongue for no reason in the middle of a video. Man, I don't care what these people say. I don't care what these knee people, these knee benders and counterparts say. You see, you have to understand, and I'm going to keep saying this statement until it rings true for you. For knee benders, getting a woman is a victory. For some reason, I don't know if it's like a craving or a desire. You know what bothers a knee bender? When a man has two women and these women are like, yes, we want this man. Oh, they can't stand that because that's double the victory, right? Oh, and if they don't have a woman, they absolutely can't stand it. Right, so being with a woman is a victory for them. Being with two women, you're the man. I cannot imagine. I don't know one guy who's like me, one knee bender who's like, I don't want two women. If I could just have two women, it would be so awesome. What? Man, I couldn't even deal with one of these morons. You're gonna deal with two of them? Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm absolutely not doing that. Polygamy is out of the question for me. I have no desire to be dealing with these people, getting messages, twice as many messages. No way, no way, no way. I'm okay with all that, man. You see, for them, being without a woman or being without the desire and the approval of a counterpart is an absolute loss. Like, it's a travesty. So, to the point where, like, they'll steal another man's woman and they'll feel so good. And the guy who loses his woman to another man, oh, he'll be miserable. Just think about how inconsequential all that stuff is. Like, it's one thing for it to be, no, this is bad, this is, you're being negative or whatnot. No, it's not even negative. It's just inconsequential and quite frankly meaningless. Oh, I got a woman, I'm the man. Women love me, I'm the man. Give me a break. Give me an absolute break, man. You know? So what they do is that to avoid the loss of not having the love and approval of a counterpart, the desire of a counterpart, they then capitulate to the ego of these losers. I mean, just absolute losers. These people can't read, they can't write, they can't spell, they can't delineate, they can't think for themselves, and when they do, they get it wrong. They're emotional, they're frantic. These people are scared of insects, spiders. She's scared of a spider. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. And then you capitulate to this person. You capitulate to this person. And now I'm the one who must be listening to you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you have to ask yourself, what is the real loss? Having a woman, a counterpart, or not having a counterpart? Which one is the real loss? So now you have a counterpart and you realize this person is getting fat, she's weird, she smells funny, all these things, right? Like there are smells like you're like, oh no, that's not natural, right? But you have to capitulate to this person. You have to capitulate to the whims of this person. And I say to myself, which is the real loss? Letting this loser go or having her stay there and tell you what to do all the time? No, I mean like just think about it. Let's say you have a loser in your life, right? With no power to accomplish anything. What's worse, letting the loser go and being alone, or letting the loser stay and have that loser tell you what to do with your time and your life all the time? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go with letting the loser go. That's where I'm gonna put my money. Now just look at the situation that you're in. Let's just analyze the situation, right? Now that you've capitulated to this person, right? You marry, you bend the knee, you capitulating to all that. She's a housewife, right? Imagine you get an opportunity for a promotion at work. And now you have to go home to ask an incompetent housewife if you should take a promotion. Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? I'm going to repeat that statement. You have to come home and ask your housewife for permission so you could take a promotion. And the two of you are sitting there discussing this. And she's telling you you shouldn't take a promotion because she's not going to have anyone to help her fold these towels. Does that make any sense? Consider this. Consider this. She doesn't even work. She doesn't even work. You getting a promotion, earning extra money, is not going to affect her existence in any way whatsoever. The only thing that she's going to do is see you rise up, get a better promotion, and have more power. And that she cannot have. That's the only difference that is going to happen. But to her life, it's not going to affect a single thing. She doesn't even have a job. What difference would your promotion make to her? Like, seriously. I mean, why does she even have to know? I mean, let's just be honest. Let's say you get a promotion at work and you come home and you don't tell your wife. You think she's gonna treat you any different? Let's say you get a promotion. You think she's gonna treat you any different? The relationship you have with your wife is not gonna be affected any way, in shape, or form with you getting a promotion, other than upsetting your wife's jealousy, instigating her jealousy. Because she's going to say, well, you're getting promoted at work, doing well, while she has to be stuck at home. Well, that's because you're incompetent. You see, if you were the titan of industry that you think you are and could be, if you could be CEO by 34, you would be. With a baby, without a baby. With a degree, without a degree. In fact, if you were that good, companies would be calling you, begging you to come out of maternity leave, begging you to stop being a housewife, just saying, please, counterpart, since you left to become a housewife, this industry has collapsed. We need you to come back. We need you in this company. We need you in this industry. We don't know what to do without you. No conversation of this nature has ever happened. A counterpart will go be a mother, housewife, I beg your pardon, a housewife, and nothing will change. It will change absolutely nothing. She'll come back into the workforce and nothing will change, and go back out and nothing will change. It makes no difference having these people or not having these people. It doesn't even work. Why does she even need to know about your promotion? You know. But then you know, you've declined a raise, you've declined a position, you've declined a promotion, just because a person who doesn't work and lives practically in pajamas all day, every day, you know, just because this person couldn't approve it and won't allow you to make more money so that you can feed her more, not that she needs it, and clothe her more with bigger clothes, and house her and transport her and pay her bills and her medical bills, which are going to rise as she rises in age. Does that make any sense? You're going to forego a promotion for a person who needs the money that you're going to make from the promotion, just for her to leave you, to say that, well, you know, you're not ambitious, you're not climbing up, you're stuck in the same situation, you know? And then, like, this is the thing, like, they'll make the wrong decision, right? This is what counterparts do. Counterparts will make the wrong decision and they'll be completely wrong. But what they'll do is they will fight you for that decision, right? So you'll spend like years arguing over this nonsense. And the only thing that she'll be arguing for is just to have her point come across. And eventually, so you let go of the promotion. And then as soon as you let go of the promotion, she'll realize how stupid that was. And then she'll criticize you for not taking the promotion. And then you're like, you wanted to divorce me for taking this promotion. Now you're threatening to divorce me for not taking this promotion. And if you think this isn't going to happen to you in your marriage, you're insane. This is exactly what's going to happen to you. You're going to, like, this is what happens. Think about it. This is literally alimony. You're providing a lifestyle for this person who then demands a divorce because she doesn't want the lifestyle that you're providing, only for her to go and sue you in the court of law so that you can what? Provide the lifestyle that you were providing. You think this won't happen with your promotion? It happens all the time. The guy takes the promotion, the wife files for divorce. He doesn't take the promotion, the wife files for divorce. You're just standing there like, what is the point of even talking to these people? What's worse is when the wife does approve the promotion. So it's one thing when she doesn't approve, but when she does say, okay, take the promotion, right? Now you have a knee bender who's been arguing about this decision for months and months and months with his wife, a decision that was so simple for everybody to make. Now this knee bender's been arguing about it. And eventually, fine, his wife capitulates and says, fine, do it, take the position. Now you've got this person who's resentful, frustrated, miserable, under the threat of divorce. Now you have a knee bender making decisions for you at work and for you in your company. And that's always going to end up bad. Have you ever seen a man at work try to gaslight you or reverse psychology or Jedi mind trick you, right? With something that somebody else used to gaslight him. But it worked really well on him. Like these knee benders, like the gaslighting works really well on these knee benders, right? And it worked so well on him that he is now naive and gullible enough to believe that his incompetence is going to be contagious and transferable. So now he thinks he can gaslight you with nonsense. And you're just standing there, because some of us are more logical than others. And you're just standing there looking at this person being like, no way. There's no way you're trying to light me up like this. And the first time they do it, especially in a work environment like this, first time these knee benders try to gaslight you with something that they believe, you sort of think about it and you're like, nah, this is nonsense, man. But because it's like somebody at work, you're inclined to sort of entertain the idea without really accepting it. But then you're like, nah, maybe this works, but this isn't gonna work for me. Then this knee bender continues to push on the point. And there's a point where you're like, nah, man, this thing doesn't work. And the gaslighting you're trying to do is not going to work for me too. They really think that their delusion is transferable, right? And their incompetence. But of course it's not. The fact is your incompetence, your delusion, it's all your gullibility, your naivety, it's all limited just to you, and other knee benders, The idea that you need to talk to someone in order to decide things and then come to the right outcome together as a group, this is a knee bender idea, man. Listen, you want to talk to somebody, you talk to yourself. Go and talk. You think I'm joking? Close the door in your house and start having a conversation with yourself. Think about an issue that you've had in your mind. See what that sounds like when you say it out in the real world. I'm practically talking to myself right now. I'm in an empty room delivering this message. You need someone to talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. You'd be better off doing that than talking to these knee benders or these counterparts. I mean, look at your life, man. Look at your life. Look at all the things that a counterpart, the advice that a counterpart give you. Oh, when your girl says this, you gotta hit her with this line and this move. Or did it hurt? Did what hurt when you fell from heaven? Give me a goddamn break. You knee benders. Look at the advice they gave you. Look at the way you talk. Look at the way you dress, man. Look at your hair all lined up, your face greasy with these men that have a face routine. Guys, you're a man. You don't need no face routine. You're a man, you don't need a face routine. Maybe a little bit of sunscreen, but you don't need a face wash routine, man. You haven't had zits since you were 15 years old. You really haven't had a zit since you were 15 years old. Look at your skin, it's as clear as day. My brother, you have testosterone. You don't need a face wash routine. Never have and you never will. Testosterone clears all that up. It clears all that up. Man, you see these people with their hair lined up and their face is just shining from all the nonsense that they've put on their face. And you're like, why? You're a man, you have testosterone. Your skin is going to be fine for the rest of your life. You don't believe me? Try this. Use skin face routine, knee benders. Why don't you go 1 month without doing your skincare routine, your face wash routine? I don't know what this nonsense is. Go 1 month without doing this and see if it makes an actual difference. See if it actually makes a difference. It's not going to make one single difference. This is why they don't make cosmetics for men, because you don't need them. It makes you look foolish. It makes you look foolish. You don't even have pimples, man. Why are you putting chemicals on your face that kill pimples? That's why they have a face wash routine, to remove the dirt, the grime, the pimples, and the imperfections that are riddling their faces. You are applying pimples and imperfections to your face by putting on these chemicals. Stop it, man. You people need benders. What can you expect? I mean, look at your lives. Look at what you've become. Look at the things, the decisions that you guys are making with the skincare routines. What exactly has come out the way that you wanted in your life? What has come right in your life? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yet, you continue to follow the advice of knee benders, and you bend the knee and end up in the dark dimension. And I keep telling you, man, stop listening to these people. Decide for yourself. Decide what you want to do. Come up with something that is in your own imagination, and refuse to do anything else that is outside of that imagination. Don't follow other people's imaginations and ideas. Follow your own. I mean, at work, you might want to be careful with that all imaginary stuff, they'll just fire you there. But other than that, out there, you can live the way that you want to live. But what you should never do is follow the advice and the actions of a knee bender, unless you want to bend that knee. But you're always better off listening to yourself and trusting your own direction and your own instincts and doing your own thing, rather than listening to the advice and the direction of a knee bender, of a counterpart. Right? Which is why I'm here on this platform with my own message, saying my own thing, doing my own thing. I have analyzed some of the works of very popular content creators, and you can be sure never, not nowhere will you find these 6 magical words: freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. Freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. You're better off doing that than you are listening to these knee benders telling you to go out there and date and pay for play. Oh, nonsense. One of the things you can do to help you decide what to do with your life is to decide what to do with your life. Decide what you're going to act as, where you're going to participate in, and all the things that you're going to do. And one of the things that many people suggest is hobbies, right? As a healthy way of filling up your free time as a bachelor and life, and your free time in your life with meaningful activities, like what we're going to see in today's edification. Not everything on this list is for me, but maybe something might catch your attention, right? Either way, you know, doing any of these things is going to be better than bending the knee and then having to ask for permission from these knee benders and counterparts. Now, I have to tell you, this list is quite tremendous. It's about 60 items, and there are some details to them. I don't anticipate that I'll go through the whole list, so I'll probably do a part one and part two of this. But if I do decide to power through it, I think it'll be worth it. But I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, because it's quite a comprehensive list, And while I'm a detailed person, man, looking at this list, I wondered if I should go through the whole thing. I'm still really undecided, right? I'm still really undecided. And this is what I do. This is my decision making process. I'll sit in a room and decide by myself, with myself, about what do I want to do and to what extent. Do I want to do half the list? Do I want to do the whole list? Do I want to skip some of the list and just jump to the places that I want? I was wrestling with this in my mind, and then I decided, let me put the whole list together and then decide what to go from there, which way to go from there. Because there's some things that might mean absolutely nothing to me, but they might mean something to you. Things like woodwork, right? That means absolutely nothing to me, but who knows? You might like it. At least just consider this as we go through this list. Imagine seeing something on this list that you really like and not being able to do it because somebody else doesn't want to do it. Just for them to break up with you because you like doing a certain thing and then start doing that thing themselves. Losers. Weren't you just better off just doing what you want? You are always better off doing what you want to do than taking the suggestions of these knee benders and these counterparts. So here it is, our list. Hobbies for men. Uncover the perfect pastime for your passion. This is a list really compiled by Jack Manager. I think Manager is actually his real name, Mr. Jack Manager. I bet you he's a manager. How could you not be a manager with that name? I'm sure he manages things. This was published on the 5th of November, 2023, and I believe it comes from a website called sometimeshomemade.com, sometimes-homemade.com, and this is the link to the actual list of hobbies, and we're going to go through them. Now, think about this list. Think about all the cool things that we're going to go through here that you are not going to be able to do because your counterpart wants you to stay home and fold towels. You could be doing this stuff, but no. You married, you bent the knee, so you gotta fold towels. It says lists of hobbies for men. These hobbies are an avenue for men to connect with their creative, physical, and intellectual sides while fostering a sense of community. Not so much for me. Whether it's woodworking, sports, intellectual challenges, or other pursuits, they are key to unleashing passions and promoting wellness. Assuming that your wife approves. So let's see. Assuming that your wife approves, you can do sports and other outdoor activities, or you could sit at home and fold those towels. Now, I'm really an activities kind of guy, but not all the time, every day, right? There are things like most of these things, there are things that I'd like to do occasionally from time to time, and then there's a list of things that I like to do often, right? So there are some things here that I really like to do, But then there are things that I'm like, maybe once in a while, maybe I'll try that or not at all, right? Maybe there's things that I've tried and just didn't enjoy them. As a lifelong bachelor, you could be certain I've done a lot of things, right? Some of these are on this list and others are not. But there are things that I enjoy doing and that I do over and over again because I can and because I want to and because I'm not going to listen to anybody telling me I can't do what I want to do with my time in my life. And this includes taking naps. Oh, you should know how much I love naps. You should know. I mean, like I don't really nap a lot during the day, but when the inclination comes and then I doze off and it's a real nap, love it. Absolutely love it and enjoy it. But this is the choice that I'm saying, right? You don't even have the option of taking naps. I know exactly when I like to take naps. I got my naps down to a science. Down to a science. I'm like, oh man, this feels like a nap coming. And then I get comfy just as I am and then just let it happen. It's lovely. Without your wife's permission, you cannot do sports. It says here, get your heart racing with a game of basketball, football, soccer, or golf. Myself, I like to go jogging to keep the calories down, to keep the weight, to keep the calorie burning up, and the calories in my body down, and the weight out. So yeah, go ahead and do some sports if you're not married. If you are married, find out what your wife thinks, and then see what happens to your weight gain. Outdoor activities, some better than others. I'm not really one for hiking, if I have to be honest with you, or camping. Don't get me wrong, I've tried it, right? I've tried it, but I'm just not for getting my shoes wet. I know you'll say, oh, that's a petty thing. There are so many other petty things, you know what I mean? I don't like, walking around with shoes and the inconvenience of that. I don't like people who like hiking unless they are extraordinarily attractive. I don't like standing in the sun for no reason. Um, I don't like just walking through stones and patches of dirt. I don't get it. Can't we just drive there? Like if we're driving to like a view or something, can't we just arrive and then see the view and admire it and then return? Why we gotta like walk 10Ks to see a view? Or on these views, the views that you walk to are never worth it, in my opinion. The ones that you drive to are perfectly fine, but the ones that you have to walk up and all kinds of steep terrain just to see this thing, never worth it. Camping, hell no. Fishing, I'll do some fishing. Now, I would absolutely do some fishing. Hunting, I don't know about hunting so much. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about hunting, but I'd do some fishing. A nice boat. We already got food on the boat, so if we catch the fish, it's extra food, or we don't have to eat it at all. You know what I mean? It depends on the situation. Um, but yeah, I'd like to do, definitely do some fishing. I do like boats. I've been on boats a lot. I just never, sat in a boat and try to catch a fish. I just sat in the boat because I enjoy the aura, and also because I was going to an island, well, many islands, but you know, not so much just to stand there and catch fish. Maybe I'll try that one day. If the boat is nice, that would be awesome. You know, biking, pedal your way through scenic routes and stay active in the great outdoors, maybe as like a tour, but no, I'm not riding around in a bicycle. I'm not like if we were like taking a bike tour through a city or something like that, but I'm not riding around in a bicycle. I don't care. I don't care what you're saying. I'm too old for bicycles. Way too old. I've been too old for bicycles for decades. I would say, when I was 15 years old, a man said to me, a friend of mine said to me, you gotta stop riding bicycles. I was like, man, I like bicycles. He's like, so you're gonna what? Walk up to a girl riding a bicycle and what? Chat her up? holding a toy. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Now, if we, like I said, it's a thing, it's an activity, it's an outing. You rent the bicycle, you ride it around, whatever, and then you return it. Okay. But I don't know about bicycles, man. I don't care how much these bicycles cost, cycling, doing whatever. Good luck with all that. Surfing, completely out of the question. Ride the waves and experience the thrills of catching the perfect break. I'm sure some of you might appreciate this. I could care less. Sailing, that really has to do with fishing. So it's like fishing will give you a reason to go sailing, which I like sailing. I like sailing. I like going on water to exotic places and that kind of thing. So I suppose fishing might give you a reason to keep doing that. Surfing, I don't know about all that. Set sail and explore the open waters, harnessing the power of the wind. I think they mean sailing like racing for sailing, not sailing like just being out in the boat, having a good time and then go back. Rock climbing, absolutely not. Scale vertical heights and challenge your physical and mental limits. Now, for me, it's an absolute no, but for you, this might be interesting. Just ask your wife what she thinks first before you start making manly decisions, right? She may have a towel for you to fold, or some teaspoons to scrub. All you knee benders are pathetic. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You could be climbing rocks at the cliff of mountains like a man, and there you are, adding detergent to the towels. Man, that must be miserable. And then you gotta fold them into three perfect quarters. Like, how do you get three quarters? Yeah, your wife will do you like that. And the knee benders, they'll be like, they'll get it. Yeah, well, there's a third and then there's a quarter. You see how you get three quarters? Shut up. Shut up. Oh, yeah, her grandmother taught her how to fold t shirts. I don't even know what to say to you people. Do you know how inconsequential your lives really are? If you're really having arguments about a towel, the day you have an argument about a towel, I want you to know that your life has lost meaning. Towels, teaspoons, dishwashers, that kind of thing. That's the level that I'm talking about. Not just the towels. The towels are just symbolic. But there's a whole area of chores. If you're arguing about chores, I'm telling you, if you're threatening divorce over chores or whatever, if you're threatening somebody over a chore, I assure you, your life has lost meaning. You've lost the way. You've lost your way. Number 7 is horseback riding. Connect with these majestic animals while enjoying the beauty of the countryside. I've been horseback riding several times. And I've ridden elephants and I've ridden camels. I like riding animals. Like, some people might say it's cruelty and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Consider the fact that if this animal wasn't working in the circus with me riding on it, it would be completely dead. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm saving animal lives. I like riding animals, but under controlled environment. I'm really not an animal rider, so I'm not the kind of guy to be like galloping down, a valley with a horse, with a dog running on my side. Some men are, some men really are. Me not so much. Me not so much. Horse riding, camel riding, elephant riding. Just a moment for a selfie. Move on with your life, man. Off roading. Now we're talking. Now, you see, if I had to do camping of any kind, I would camp in a hotel. But other than camping in the hotel, no, I'm not sleeping on the ground. I've been there, done that. No. What? No, 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 no. I'm not sleeping on the floor. Not if I can avoid it. Not if I can avoid it. No, no, no. I'm camping in the hotel. Now, the off-road stuff with the 4x4s, right? Now, I'm in for that. Let's get off the road and let's see what these cars can do. These 4x4s. Let's do it. Let's climb the cliff with the 4x4, not with our feet. Now this is good stuff. Navigating rugged terrain in 4x4. Navigate rugged terrain in a 4x4 and revel in the thrill of off road experience. Yeah, I'm in. I'm all the way in. Kite surfing. Combine the excitement of surfing with the power of the wind and the adrenaline pumping sport. You're gonna break something. You go kite surfing, I mean, you're gonna have a great time, but you're gonna hurt yourself, man. Do it, but be careful. You know what? Talk to your wife first. Make sure she's okay with it. But yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. I'm not gonna stand in your way. But just be careful. Don't. You only have one body. You break it, you're stuck with it. Disc golf. Enjoying a game of golf with a frisbee in the great outdoors, perfect for those seeking a more casual sporting activity. Enjoying a game of golf with a frisbee. I'm gonna have to find out what disc. So I was talking about going to find out what disc frisbee is. Then I found out what disc frisbee is. So it's practically like with golf, you'll hit the ball with the club into a hole. It's the same thing. So it's like instead of hitting the ball, you kind of throw a frisbee into something that catches frisbee over a long distance away. You really need to look it up to kind of get it. The description of disc golf doesn't really do it much justice. But yeah, I'm ready to move on to the next category, category two. Creative and artistic hobbies. DIY and home improvements depends. If I'm inclined, I might do that, but for most part, probably not. For the most part, I'd like to think I have things set up just the way that I want them so I could be functional. And for cleaning and maintenance, I'll bring help or something. Tackle home projects and renovations, letting your creativity shine through. I'm gonna move on from that. I mean, to each his own. For knee benders, this might be the thing to do, right? Like DIY and home improvement, this is probably the knee benders' bread and butter. When they talk about hobbies, they mean trimming hedges and cleaning gutters. Nah, I'm not really. And painting walls. You know how many walls I've painted in my life? I'm not inclined to paint another wall ever again or wash another car, to be honest with you. As a child, I've washed cars and done all kinds of stupidity. I did the garden, planted plants, and all kinds of things. I'm not doing none of that. Carpentry and woodwork, tried it, tested it, failed at it. Craft intricate and functional woodwork piece with your own hands. That's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not saying that it's not interesting. It's just not for me. Could be for you though. Find out what your wife thinks about craft or carpentry and woodwork, and I assure you, you're gonna miss out on some great opportunities. Music, whether playing instruments or music production, let the melodies flow from your heart and fingertips. I like music. I enjoy every genre of music. If I have to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really like limiting myself to any specific genre. Now, this doesn't mean that I like every song in every genre, but I find that there is enjoyable music, enjoyable songs in almost every genre. Do I plan on making that music? No. I did have an attempt at playing the piano, and I thought I was moving along fairly good at it, moving along quickly and becoming fairly good at it, but I just never really practiced it. Really, it was a choice of are you gonna sit and practice the piano or do you wanna go outside and score goals? And I chose to score goals, and I loved it. Perhaps there could have been something in it for me to continue to play piano, a skill or other, but man, I loved sports. I loved sports, and I also tried to play the harmonica. I think I got pretty good with the harmonica, but I annoyed a lot of people. But it's just that I don't have the burning desire to make music. I think I would like to be able to do it in terms of I like listening to music, but it's like the pizza thing for me. right? Just because you like pizza doesn't mean you should own a pizza restaurant. Just because you like music doesn't mean you should be a DJ. And I enjoy music, but I'm really not inclined to participate in music beyond just enjoying it. Some people have, and they've made a lot of money doing it. Other people's have, and they've lost a tremendous amount of money doing it. Painting, drawing, and sculpting, no, no, and no. This is for me, of course. This might be for you. Express your emotions, absolutely not, through various forms of visual art for canvas or for clay. Yeah, good luck with all that. Photography, capture life's moments and scenes through the lens of your camera, preserving memories. I think every person in the world is a photographer now. If you have a smartphone, you're a photographer. Smartphone cameras have become good enough to to make a difference. There was a time when smartphone cameras were terrible and DSLRs were so much better. Like you wanted a DSLR so that you didn't have to take pictures with your smartphone. But having had both a DSLR and a smartphone, a new modern smartphone, a recent smartphone, I'm gonna tell you that smartphones are infinitely better than DSLR. Number one, I'll tell you why though, in my opinion. Number one, when you load these pictures on various media, most people can't tell the difference. So they can't tell the difference if this was shot with DSLR or any other device because of the clarity, you know. So the cameras on the phones have become so good that you can't tell the difference. And when you load them, the programs that you load them on, they really neutralize all that. So they, whatever special effects you have, they'll keep them, right? Whatever great image you've captured, they'll keep the features there and then just add those features to a phone that was taken, to a picture that was taken with an inferior device. So photography, unless you have somebody who wants you to take pictures of them while they don't take the picture themselves. But I assure you, you can accomplish amazing things with a selfie stick. Very satisfying things. You just have to now realize that, okay, all my pictures are going to be from a selfie stick. But you can get really, really good photos and really, really good videos. So, photography, a great thing, but an unnecessary skill if you ask me. All right. Art and creative writing. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go with creative writing and I'm gonna go with art if you are so inclined. Um, I think you should write things down, right? I think you should write things down. I think you should carry a notebook. Now, me, I'm a man with like 5 or 6 notebooks. I write almost everything down, every meeting, every concept, every idea, every task, everything that I have to do, everything that's said on these videos, other than me um, discussing, like, like the edifications and the reading. But everything that I say in the monologue is written down and scripted. And I don't know if you can tell that just by me reading it. There are moments when I pause, I'm giving away the tricks now, but I could care less. I know you're not going to write anything down. Even if we give you the secret, you're just going to be like, but how should I write things down? Get out. That's what I'd say to you. But everything that I say here is practically written down. This is not to imply that these are my own words. No, no, no. This is me ironing out my thoughts so I can, lay out my case methodically and thoroughly. But all my thoughts and sentiments are clearly put in there. There are times then when I stop going through the notes and my script and just speak direct. And I wonder if people can tell the difference sometimes. But yes, you should be writing everything down. And then using the best words and vocabulary that you can to describe those things. Years later, I promise you, you're going to want to type all that out and sell it. And you can. So write things down, man. Don't play games with writing. Like, eventually, you're going to need a product of your own that's original. And it's going to be written work. You're not going to invent no time machine. People already have those in the future, right? And they are copywritten and patented. So forget about that. Craft stories, poems, or novels and let your imagination run wild. If I have to be honest with you, things like knee benders, phrases like knee benders, counterparts, and so forth, I can maintain those in my daily script because I've written them down, right? So I don't have to keep remembering, oh, what did I call those losers? Oh, yeah, knee benders, right? I don't have to keep remembering that. It's not only is it in the forefront of my mind, but it's always like right in front of me, right? You go into a meeting or whatever where you're expected to speak, just write things down beforehand, come in and read it. Nobody's gonna care if you're reading it or you're speaking from the heart. If I was you, I wouldn't say nothing that I haven't written down beforehand so that I can get my message across. Whether people like that message or not is inconsequential. The fact is that you want to have your thoughts in a logical array and in an effective manner. Pottery, mold and shape clay into beautiful and functional pieces of art. Sure, I'll try that once. Man, I better like pottery. Because if I don't like it, you can be sure I'm not coming back. I'm not the kind of guy to suffer through things. Right? So I'll try it, see what it's like, and then I'll probably just let it go. But I don't think I'll be investing in all of that. No, no, no. Um, okay, so I thought, oh, I read that. I thought I hadn't read that, right? Functional pieces of art. Yeah, good luck with all that. Calligraphy, perfect the art of beautiful writing, creating elegant and expressive letters. I'm a big fan of writing letters in my own hand, although I don't do it quite often. I just haven't found anybody worth writing a letter for in a long time. Now, there are people who will, like, if you write them a letter, like you write a counterpart a letter, she'll read that letter out to her friends and laugh about it, blah, blah, blah. But one thing that I can tell you for sure is that in 30 years, she'll still have that letter. In 40 years, she'll still have that letter. And the reason for that is that nobody else is going to write her a letter ever again. In their handwriting, no way. Know what they're gonna type her a text message, what you doing, they're gonna do all kinds of things, but no one is gonna write that woman a letter, right? Ever again. I promise you that much. If there's been one who's written her a letter before. And those people that do write letters to her, they probably can't read or write. So keep that in mind. Yeah, write someone a letter. Don't take it personally, but write one anyway. Um Calligraphy, when you do it, make sure you have a decent handwriting. Glass blowing, harness the power of heat and breathe to create stunning glass art. I would do that as like a tour on a holiday. Like if I'm on a holiday and they're like, oh, we've got a glass blowing tour out here in Laos or whatever. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Vientiane in Laos. I've been to Vientiane a few times. Um, what happens in Vientiane stays in Vientiane. Glass blowing, if I was in Vientiane and they were like, let's go do some glass blowing, I might be inclined. I might be inclined once or twice. But I don't think it's the kind of thing where I'm going to invest a whole glass blow equipment thing in my house, and be blowing glass every Saturday afternoon. Soap making, I don't know if I'm making any soap, but to each his own. Knee benders, go make yourself some soap. Craft soaps with unique scents and designs of for personal use or gifts. I don't even know what to say. Why would you okay, make some soap if you want to make some soap, guys. Make some shampoo while you at it. Um, you know what I do make though? You know what I do make for myself? I make some beard oil though. Now I know, I have more patch than beard, but I look after the little patch that I have. All right, I look after that little beard, that little straggle hair. It is so moisturized, which is the irony. So you get this ugly twisted face. There's like two little straggle hairs, but you look at those healthy hairs, and you're like, man, that guy really takes care of those straggles. So yeah, I do make my own oil. It's a 3 oil mix. I think it's jojoba oil, some coconut oil, and a little bit of almond oil. Yeah, 3 by 1, 3 by 1 mix. My straggler hairs seem alright, you know. So I'm not gonna be out here judging you for making your own soap. I do like to make some of my own stuff too. Um, if I enjoy the outcome, right? So I enjoy the outcome of this, and I think I've benefited a little bit from it, not too much, but a little bit from making my own. Sometimes I'll switch it up, right? So sometimes I'll use, like, some people might say, oh, throw in some olive oil. Olive oil doesn't really go well with beards. I wouldn't throw olive oil into your beard oil mix, or perfume for that matter, which is one of the reasons I started making it. Some of these beard oils have perfume, but also you can really make a lot of it, right? With natural oils, no funny stuff. But yeah, stand up comedy, absolutely not. Take the stage and entertain with laughter as you share your comedy talents. Now, I have no problem with public speaking at all. At all. Been doing it for years. Stand up in a group of people. In fact, I love standing in front of a group of people and then telling them exactly what to do, and then they do it. Public speaking, not a problem. What I don't want is to stand up in front of people and make myself a clown. So you go ahead and do that. But you see me standing in front of a group of people, I'm either dispensing serious knowledge or I'm giving instructions that I intend and expect them to be carried out as I'm giving them. I do not expect you to be creative with my instructions, right? Why would I pay you for creativity? Unless, of course, you're a stand up comedian. Historical reenactment, not really my thing. I would watch a historical reenactment. Now, for me, I do love plays, I do love theater. I once went to a kung fu edification, not an edification per se, but a demonstration of kung fu. It was spectacular, right? It was spectacular. They had the whole thing. They had the music, they had the drama, they had the kung fu screams, the fast movements, the shiny weapons, but aren't sharp. Yeah, those weapons are definitely not sharp. There's no way you're lying on top of a knife like that, right? They got that edge like way down. You won't come close to see it. They'll bring out a real sharp knife for you to see. But for them, they use all the fake stuff. That stuff was awesome, you know. So it's not just plays and movies and that kind of thing, but any live performance is really worth going to see people do extraordinary things in real life. Historical reenactment is not something that I would participate in, but I would absolutely love to see. Step back in time and relive history through authentic costume and role playing. Oh, that must be delightful. The explosions. Oh, that must be so awesome. Now, some people are going to be like, oh, well, that's not cool. Okay, then go to a nightclub and listen to half a song while you drink watered down alcohol, in that stinking bathroom. The whole place smells like cigarettes and drugs. I'm going to go watch a reenactment and then maybe some kung fu. Bonsai nature and shape miniature trees, displaying the beauty of nature in miniature form. I don't know about bonsai stuff. To each his own. To each his own. I'm okay with growing like plants, little pot plants, that kind of thing. I grew some plants some time back. I don't do that so much now. It takes up so much time. You gotta feed them, keep them alive, all kinds of things. Growing plants, botany is a very serious hobby that requires a lot of time. Like if you have somebody who's got plants that are growing really well and healthy, you know that person has a system. You know that person has a system, right? Of feeding, watering, all kinds of things. I'm not against that. I've tried it and it's actually quite interesting. You do learn a lot, but also it's quite isolating. It's okay if your plan is to be isolated, and in your isolation you grow a plant. But if your plan was just to grow a plant and not be isolated, you're gonna find that growing plants is very isolating. Like, you have to be there to grow them, just like animals. You have to be there to feed them, to care for them, and all kinds of things, right? So yeah, choose your hobbies wisely, or ask your wife what you should do. Go ask for permission if you should grow a bonsai. Model railroading. Model anything can take a lot of time. I'm not inclined for the modeling and stuff like that. The building of the toys. But some people are. They find great satisfaction in achieving that stuff. To each his own. Build intricate and detailed model train layouts that transport you to different worlds. Leatherworking is number 25, by the way. I just skipped right through that. I'm not doing any railroading. Go ahead and look that up if you're interested. Leatherworking, again, not interested. While I enjoy leather products, right? Leather wallets and so forth, bags and other things. I'm not planning on making them. It's the same thing like with suits. I like wearing suits. I may enjoy making them. I might very well enjoy making them, but I'm not gonna go try. Like, I'm not inclined. I don't have the passion, the eagerness to say, you know what, that's a beautiful suit. I want to create things like that. No, no, no. I just want to own things like that and wear them. Craft functional and artistic items from leather, showcasing your creative talents. Let's move on. Indeed, as I anticipated, I'm going to stop the list right here. Not because of laziness or anything. I had an inclination prior to this that I would make this a part one and a part two. And I don't actually know if I'll be doing part two tomorrow, and I may very well do that. Right? I did want to discuss other things about, permission and such, but I thought I really had it all in there. This is a tremendous list of things to go through. Ironically, the next part of that list, which I'm gonna do at another time, maybe even tomorrow. Maybe even tomorrow. I had something else planned for tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna keep it authentic. I'm gonna keep it authentic and grow with it as it grows. There are a lot of these things, I have to be honest with you, where I want to do the part one and the part two. It's either that or make a 4 hour video, in which case I might as well just go live and just break the whole thing down and earn super chats. I may very well still do that. I may very well still do that once I get the routine right. Once I get it right down to a science, and I could be unlimited, man, I will be making videos, live streams from anywhere. You never know where I'm gonna come. But 24 hours a day, I'll just pop up, do a live stream, and then move on for an hour. 2 hours later, just pop up again, do another live stream, move on. I could be doing it all day. I really can't see why you couldn't be, if you were seriously making content in the nature of which that I'm doing, which is gathering resources, materials, and just disseminating that. I could not see why you couldn't make 10 of these videos a day, just pumping out this content, you know. But again, there are times where you're like, you know what, this is a good part one and a part two. Even if you were doing a live stream, you do part one today, just break it down, and then part two tomorrow, and just lock it all in. Take the audience on a journey with you. You've heard me say several times that there are some articles where it's just like, okay, I'll take an excerpt even though the other information is really good. And there are articles that I really swore I'd go back to, and then just moved on, and and never did, and they plague me in the back of my mind. So this may very well be a common thing that I do, a part one and a part two, right? It sounds like a good idea to me. It's not just functional or practical. It helps to create content. Not that I'm ever going to struggle with content, but I don't like leaving gaps in information, even if I have to come back and fill in those gaps at another time. I don't like leaving gaps in information. And I'm gonna stop here. Obviously, this is the end of the video. But if I don't finish this list, I will be leaving a tremendous gap in information. And while some audience members may not mind that, I don't want you to know me for that. I don't want you to know me as a person who isn't thorough about being thorough. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and be thorough. I'll probably do the part two tomorrow, and move over other things into a later day. Right, there's always a tomorrow somewhere, but this will be the end of this video. And I'd like you to keep our opening monologue in mind. Consider that we're just halfway, or not even halfway, we're not even halfway through the tremendous amount of things that you could be doing or trying out, right? A lot of bachelors, mind you, we haven't even got to like restaurants or nightclubs or any of that. This is a real wholesome list of things that I actually think most men would enjoy doing, but aren't actually gonna try doing it because you're taking advice from knee benders and counterparts. And sometimes you just don't really know what to do. What should I try out? What's interesting? Something that I'll do one time and move on, or do something and enjoy it and try it again. People that are looking for content to make. Oh, what am I gonna do for content? You know what? Go visit a writer. Go visit a glass blow place. Go visit a soap maker. Go visit interview a stand-up comedian. Interview somebody who does historical reenactments and so forth. Go buy a bonsai tree. There's an unlimited amount of content that you can make from hobbies if you want to make that type of content. And then you're wondering, man, what's the benefit of having these hobbies? Man, make content out of your hobbies, right? You'll enjoy the hobby, and then you'll enjoy the content, and other people can either enjoy it or be jealous. Either way, you'll be fine, right? Whether they're happy or they're jealous. But you got a counterpart, man, you're not going to be able to enjoy not one single one of these things. And as the Bachelor Supreme, by the way, the reason why I have this tremendous list of things is because there's a point as a bachelor where you get through all the things that you want to do. You get through all the things that you want to do. You've done them twice, three times, four times. You've been on every continent. You know what I mean? You've exchanged every currency. You've played the currency exchange game, blah, blah, blah. Right? And yeah, you can make a lot of money from Forex. Just make sure you have a lot of dollars. You don't have no dollars, you don't have no Forex, man. People are buying and selling dollars. That's it. That's foreign exchange, right? They're not selling nothing else, right? They're not selling nothing else. Not even the Kuwaiti dinar gets sold in the open market. It's all about them dollars, and who's desperate enough to pay service fees and interest and taxes, which is most people, right? But think of all the things that you're missing out and you're going to miss out on if you bend the knee. And all you'll be doing is spending your entire life arguing over towels. And this is just the first half of it. Tomorrow I'm going to hit you with the full list. Part of the things that I really like are on that list. And like this was the problem that I had. I thought to myself as I was speaking and thinking within myself, as of myself, by myself, and for myself. I thought to myself, you know what? I could just look at the list of all the things that I enjoy, but that again would leave tons of information out. And most people aren't really going to enjoy the things that I enjoy. I mean, I could see somebody thinking about, man, I should make some music. Ancient One is out of his mind. I'm definitely making music. Or, nah, Ancient One is crazy. I'm going to try the woodwork and make some really cool stuff. You know, I don't want to sit and watch no Chinese Kung Fu demonstration like the Ancient One, who, by the way, I love Chinese Kung Fu demonstrations, the Shaolin stuff. You're talking to the right person about that. You want to go watch Shaolin Kung Fu? I'm in. I'm in. You want to go play with some sticks? Not so much. And I'm not going to judge you. Lots of people like playing with sticks. I'm just not one of them, right? I much prefer going to a show or the theater or that type of demonstrative performance than I would something like a nightclub or that kind of situation. That's really not in my nature. But think about all the things that you could be doing right now, but you can't do because your counterpart, your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, your whatever living situation that you're with, just won't simply give you the permission that quite frankly you don't need. Permission that quite frankly you don't need. And you'd probably be better off just doing your own thing and following your own path and your own direction. But this will be the end of the video and the end of part one. I will continue with part two tomorrow. I've decided that this is really one of the things that I'm going to do. I'm not going to leave out information that I actually want to include and also that I want to review. So, I mean, there are things that I've done excerpts on when, in fact, I wanted to read further and deduce more from the information and delineate further. But because it was just too long, it would take too much time. It would like double or triple the size of the video. I decided to just forego that information and just focus on one particular aspect. But now I feel like I've got gaps in my information and I've given people half the information. And now you have gaps in your information too, which is really troublesome for me. It doesn't satisfy me at all. So one of the things that I intend to do is complete this list so you could just see just how much you're missing out on by bending that knee. And these aren't things that you have to do and love them. You could just try them, do it one time, and then just move on, or do it twice if you like it, or just do it until you don't like it anymore, or until it just doesn't serve your purposes, and then try something different. But you can do all this, you don't need no permission. But you bend that knee, you're going to need permission to blow your nose. You'll be a grown man and not be able to even sneeze because you're capitulating to the ego of a counterpart, of which I don't recommend you do. What I do recommend is that you follow the philosophy of this platform, which is to freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. Freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. But yes, indeed, this is the end of the video, as I mentioned, and tomorrow I will complete the list and do part two, just to indicate my commitment to being thorough about being thorough. I am the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, and I want to thank you once again for your time, your attention, and I want to say that I really, truly appreciate it, along with your focus and lending me your ear. Please, if you've liked this video, please leave a, where do you hit that thing? Hit the like button. You know what my problem is that I haven't scripted this outro. If I scripted it, I'd be able to nail it 110%. But the outro is really the only time that I get to ramble on these videos. But even those ramblings, I think they've come to an end. I'm going to go ahead and script an outro. I'll try it out tomorrow. But please like the video if you've enjoyed it. Please share this video with somebody that keeps thinking they need a counterpart's permission to make decisions. You could just lie to that counterpart, practice the deceptive arts, and continue with your life as you would. But otherwise, please leave a comment to remain part of the conversation. And since I'm consistently online and I'm addicted to social media and I'm addicted to the internet, I'll probably see it, read it, and respond to you. Of that, I am absolutely sure. Thank you again for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, counterpart free, knee bending free day.